hasn't seen all of these latest proposals yet.
Well, I don't think I want.
The EDA, excuse me, Ted, the EDA was aware of Jeff's offer to get STS in there, but, you know, and we were all in favor of that, as, you know, as was the council that same night, or previous night. So,
But it sounds like he wants to use the $122,000 to reduce the amount that he has to borrow, while we have to put in another $195,000.
Well, the $122,000 is my estimate of savings from his contract work. That doesn't mean that's all there is. I mean, there's more that we can do. We're only taking on the insulation sheetrock side, which is which is $14,000 worth of material, which he showed it was almost $80-some thousand worth of labor, and the rest was material, $32,000 material.
Well, I don't remember, I don't have it with me, the agreement that was signed, but he was to finish after we put in the FEMA money, without specifying numbers, I don't think. He was to finish the project after we put in the FEMA money. And that would mean, if he's correct here, and I don't have anything to corroborate it, we would have to put in another $195,000. He would borrow roughly $122,000 less. I would say that the $122,000 ought to go in toward our $595,000.
Well, I think you're in the driver's seat. It is our time.
The bottom line is, I don't think we have $195,000 lying around.
But the option that you just said, that's not doable. What am I trying to say? It's probably something they haven't, you know, worked into the whole situation yet, you know. If Mike Rubani's still putting together all these numbers and everything, if that idea wasn't presented to him into the package deal and how they're gonna present it to the bank and all that, I mean, that's still possibly doable, your way of doing it, you know.
Well, this is the first time I've seen that $595,000 number, and if we've only put in $400, then Mr. Seary thinks we owe another $195,000. And he wants to use the STS and the materials to reduce the amount that he has to borrow, if I'm understanding what he's saying.
you didn't get a chance to talk to Bubani or Suri to firm up any of
No,
these things? Okay.
I just downloaded this today. I mean, I think we ought to use STS, and I think we ought to take advantage of it, but I think it ought to go toward what we have to put in that building.
So,
Can Jeff get started on STS and just get hammered out this week, at least in?
Well, I think we can get started, but I don't think we're signing any agreements that say he has to borrow $100,000+ less, because we've gone ahead and done this. But then we wouldn't ask him to reimburse for the materials.
and we've signed no agreements at all. We just requested this letter. I wanna cover the basis of the material at least. Let's say things fall south and nothing happens with the airport or community center, or excuse me, the hotel community center at this point forward. We have a building that we have to deal with and fix anyway, and the less money we have to stick into it, and the more labor we can get for free, that's my goal. Keep it moving forward.
Well, I agree, I just don't wanna give it to Tom if as as he says here, we agreed to put in $595,000.
So, Jeff, they're saying that you could get all the materials, the insulation and sheet rock for $14,000?
32,000.
No, 14,000. We already have it from Jim's Home Center, already talked about, and we've already contacted Jim. He has the plans and specs. He gave me a firm price. We do know where we stand for materials. It's gonna cost the city just under $14,000 for that material.
For the insulation and sheet rock?
Insulation and sheet rock and vapor barrier, screws, vents, and tape and mud.
Really?
I thought the other night what you showed us was 14 and 18.
14 and 28. The 28 would be Norman's Electric, that we can't do
Okay.
anything about that. That has to be done by a licensed electrician, so we would still have to honor the contract. If you notice on the note there, Mr. Mayor, the rest of it on there is the electrical, the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. There are certain things that we have to have done at the community center before the, well, before it can be, the stud walls can be inspected. All cut-ins have to be made prior to inspection of framing. So the framing has not been approved. So even though you see a structure there, it's not been inspected as an approved structure. It's still waiting to be approved. Until the HVAC and the electricians are done with their part of the cut-ins of the framing, then we can get it inspected. So I had the inspector down today to talk to us and tell us exactly where we stand. There's a little bit of electrical work to do on the far west wall of the large area, and then that framing can be inspected and approved, and we can start hanging sheetrock in the ceiling. So we're very close to getting going on the ceiling, hanging the sheetrock in the ceiling. But the rest of it, we do have to sit down with the HVAC and plumbing and electrical and have a meeting, and that will be this Thursday at 3 o'clock if any of you want to make that. It's a construction meeting that I'm gonna have here at City Hall, and find out where everybody stands on their existing contracts.
So give me the same date and time again.
That'll be Thursday at 3 o'clock here at City Hall. Then I'll be having a conference call with Tom Suri at 1 o'clock on Friday, and fill him in on what we understand, what we feel his responsibilities are.
So Siri, or Suri, however you say his name, is responsible for paying for electric from Norman's.
Yes.
All the electrical work.
Yes.
Electrical boxes, cut-ins and everything.
And now keep in mind, that not one contractor is gonna wanna do that. They're all gonna want the city to pay that bill, and then he'll reimburse us.
Like, you know, he has agreed that he'll reimburse us. If you should choose, you don't want him to reimburse us, you want that to go toward our share of stuff, and so he has to do some other things. I mean, those things you can still negotiate how we get credit for that, you know?
I guess I'd like to have Terry go over that agreement to make sure that I understand exactly what our obligation is on this.
Yeah, I'm sure he has those.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
sure
he
he has
has
all
the
three of them,
agreement,
yeah.
but the question needs to be asked, have we guaranteed to put in? Was that what FEMA was gonna give us for the Tenberg Center?
Yeah, that number came from that.
$595.
Yeah, that's where that number came from.
Okay, so we were gonna put in all the FEMA money. But we had to advance the money up front, and now it appears we aren't gonna get it. So we would still have to put in $195,000.
But as you mentioned, to keep things moving,
Oh, I think we should get the STS
you can,
going.
you still have his promise to pay if that's the direction you wanna go. And if you wanna go a different direction, then you can do it differently, but he still gets to keep those guys working, right?
Well, you have to take care or take advantage of the STS crew.